This is a very important message. Right now, if you simply are gonna be on the same lifeline, you're not really taking action, then it's not really gonna go too well. So, as the timeline reads right now,
Hey guys, Susan Robbins here. Today I wanted to share with you an Oracle Tarot card reading I got from Austin, the Autistic Mystic, as he's known on YouTube. I just thought it would be really fun to share, and I kind of enjoy oversharing. And also, I know some of you might want to get one, but like might not be able to afford it. That was like me forever, and it's just kind of cool to see what it's like. And Austin did this reading. He's super awesome. He is just really intuitive, and every time I watch his tarot card readings on YouTube, it just feels like it's always a personal reading. Like he's always, I don't know, he's just always spot on. And I really wanted to get some advice. I asked him about my career. I'm a writer and I'm doing YouTube here. Trying to do YouTube here, as you can see. And then also about this guy I've been talking to online. And then about my career again, about timelines and how long it's gonna take, and just kind of like I just wanted a boost of confidence. So yeah, basically career guy, career again. All right, and he gives a lot of like good all-purpose advice here, so it's just really helpful. Especially he talks about authenticity, and that's I love when he talks about authenticity. All right, let's just watch it.
what's going on, Plamena? Thank you so much for booking in your 24-hour personal reading.
Well, he can say my name right, so that pretty much proves he's psychic because most people murder it.
We are going to get to the bottom of the three questions that you submitted here in your email. The first thing we're going to do is start off with an opening.
Actually, it's like really nice to hear my name. He said it like just right because I'm from Bulgaria. I'm a two-time immigrant. We moved when I was like a kid, like 10. We moved to Canada, and then to get married, I moved to the United States because my husband was here. So it's really nice to hear my name exactly like I would hear it in my childhood. Because sometimes I have trouble feeling like I exist. I spend a lot of time in my head and just like watching things.
Oracle message from your spirit guide. So this is going to be general advice, and this is going to be anything that spirit wants to bring to your attention, and then I'll use my intuition from there as to what they're trying to get across to you. Okay, so this is going to be the first thing, just some opening messages from your spirit guides. What does spirit want to bring to your awareness before we get into your questions? Let's go ahead and see. Messages for Plamena, please. Okay. Very interesting stuff coming through.
Did you see his eyes there? He's like, very interesting, very interesting. That was the thing when I was in high school. You wanted to like lightly diss someone. You're like, yes, yes, that's very interesting.
Okay. Okay. So I pre-read some of your questions here, and there's the first thing is about stop doubting yourself about the YouTube channel. The interesting thing that's coming to my awareness for you, Plamena, is the thing that's gonna work for you may not be the thing that your mind is telling you is gonna work for you. So, being a creative person, being an artist, oftentimes you try your best with your mind and your heart to produce the best quality product. This is why it's frustrating to be a creative person, because you try your best, and when you think you did a great job, oftentimes you put something out and the Spirit's telling me to tell you this, you put something out and it doesn't do as good as you think as it might. Now, the days where you feel like crap, or you put something together and you're like, it was just all right, or you're
I feel like crap right now. This is very promising so far. I think my internet died like 20 times and then the kids were crying all day.
your mind tells you it's not good enough, but then you put it out, usually that's the thing that resonates with the public. That's the thing that will take your YouTube channel to the next level. And so what the first thing that is very important for you to understand that's coming through strongly is it's not going to manifest in the way that your mind thinks. Now, it might, but what Spirit is trying to tell me to tell you is that don't be afraid to just try many things, especially at first, because it might not be the thing that your mind is telling you. Okay, so that's very important. Now, the first card that we have coming out here is Mahavatar Babaji, Soul Expansion. Your consciousness is expanding. So this card says you understand the connection between all things. So I would say that your awareness is expanding, and that's very important for you in all facets of your life. So if you feel a little bit stressed out, usually growth requires a bit of tension. You know, it's like when you go to the gym to build muscle, it doesn't really feel good. So if you feel like you're doubting, like what's coming through, especially with this creative thing that you want to do with YouTube, the moment you doubt it the most, or the moment that you have the most resistance, is the moment you're the closest to accomplishing something. It's like the story of 3 feet from gold, or like it's, you know, an ancient Chinese proverb is that the more you want to give up, or the more that you doubt yourself, the closer you are to the success. But most people just give up when they're right on that threshold, when they're like, I can't take it anymore. They just give up. You're expanding your consciousness. You're having a soul.
That has been me for like 12 years. I'm like, I can't do this. I started writing in 2010, and I wrote for like 8 months. I wrote an entire novel. I wrote 120k words, and then as soon as I started like getting into trying to get published and querying and editing and all that stuff, it's like that initial optimism disappeared, and it was replaced by a lot of hatred, self-hatred mostly, for like 12 years. So yeah, and it's always kind of felt like, oh my god, it's gonna happen any second, but like it doesn't. When I don't work on my stuff, I always feel like, oh, I'm about to work on it, I'm about to work on it, and then I look at the time and it's been like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and I'm like, shoot. And whenever I am working on it, like I work on it for half a day or a few hours or whatever, and it always feels like I've been working on it for months, and it's impossible and it's never gonna happen. But it's really not been actually that long.
Expansion right now. You also have here Freya, phases and cycles. There is a beginning with every ending. Illusions are revealed and released here. So there's definitely something about a new cycle coming into your life, something to let go of here. The Raven here, it is all about the Death card, and the Moon, it's about embracing that feminine intuition. So you definitely are tapped into the lifeline that you want to go on. Being a creative, I feel that it's in alignment for you. When people book in readings, there's many times when the energy is like, hey, I want to be a creative, or I want to do something, and my soul's just like, nope, you got to do something else first. You need like
That would suck. Like if I paid him and he's all like, yeah, you can't be a YouTuber, I'd be like so upset. It's like, man, I paid you a lot of money.
You need to do this for, or like Spirit will tell me like, nope, not in alignment right now. For you, it is in alignment. I do think you are meant to do this. Now, you also have the Holy Spirit, expect miracles here. So this card says, remember that only love is real. Miracles will occur naturally. Spirit has your back. And I do think that's the most important thing for you to understand. Spirit has your back. Now, here's the thing. You have the call to action, and this card definitely stood out to me, Commander Ashtar. Take charge, lead by example, and walk your talk. So, the point that you're in, I do feel like you have a quite expanded awareness, state of consciousness, and I think that's actually getting you in trouble. I really hope you're paying attention because it's coming through very strongly at this moment in time. Plamena, you're a little bit too smart for your own good. That's why the self-doubt comes in. A lot of the people to be succeeding.
If I had $1,000 for every time someone said that, I would have like $10,000.
As a YouTuber because they simply are more like animalistic where they just do it and they just do it they just like get out of their own way. So that's definitely something here to consider. So these are the energies okay for you to embrace just as this opening message. Now let's go ahead and get into your first question. And we'll consult the tarot about this. Okay, so you say, how can I trust my intuition better?
Okay, so here he's literally gonna read the questions I wrote out to him. So that's me and my words.
Stop doubting myself about doing a YouTube channel. I know exactly what to do, but then I fall out of alignment and doubt myself. I've been watching your TikToks and I love them. Well, it's funny you say that. The first thing is I actually started out on TikTok rather than YouTube because if you want to be logical about it, YouTube is typically, not for everyone, but typically a much harder code to crack than TikTok. TikTok, when it comes to growing on social media, you will get by far the most organic reach on TikTok, which means if I were you, I would be posting whatever message is on your heart on TikTok. I blew up on TikTok before I blew up on YouTube, and having a lot of views on TikTok is what actually gave me a lot of confidence that I can do this on YouTube too. So
that's so weird to see people who are kind of like from my point of view, he's pretty established on YouTube. He's got whatever over 100K subscribers. He's got like 20, 30K views per video, and they're kind of divided between the zodiacs. So it's very weird, but it's very reassuring, you know, to see that other people like need confidence.
For me, TikTok is like an easier platform to grow on. So I would suggest if you have not tried that, even if it's out of your comfort zone, if you want to be a YouTuber, you got to get comfortable on.
I have no idea. I have no idea what TikTok is. Like forever people were talking about it and I like couldn't figure it out. Like it's like too, like I have ADHD. It just feels too short for my brain. My brain is constantly interrupting itself. It just kind of goes blank every like 10 to 15 seconds all by itself. And then when you add TikTok being so short and like not personal, you don't know anything about anyone, it's just like makes it really hard for me to engage with it. It's just like a bunch of stuff for me.
On camera. So I would say start on TikTok because the organic reach is much easier on TikTok right now. The also yeah, so just be aware of that. Now here's the thing coming through for how can I trust my intuition better and stop doubting myself. Well, you're always trusting something. So this is a little bit of a paradox. It's a mental exercise to help you dissolve your resistance, but like you can never be in true doubt. Doubt doesn't really exist because you always trust that something is true. So like let's say right now you're saying self-doubt is about lacking confidence to create what you want. So let's say you say I'm not confident, right? You know exactly what to do, but you're like I have self-doubt. Let's just say I'm not confident. Well, you're very confident in your lack of confidence. Right now you're very confident that you're doubting yourself. So you always are trusting that something is true. You always
I like this kind of like reverse psychology thing going on here.
Are confident that something is true. Right now you're just confident that you're doubting yourself more than in your vision of your success. So it's really a choice. This comes down to there's a book that I want you to read, especially if you want to be a successful YouTuber and manifest that into reality. There's a book called Reality Transurfing by Vadim Zealand. Reality Transurfing. It's basically the best book that you could ever read on manifestation, and I certainly would not be where I am today if I had not read that. Now, it's not a required reading. I would just heavily suggest it. So what I'm trying to tell you here, Plamena, is you're always trusting that something is true. So trust that you are confident more than you are not confident. Now that can also come through time. So that's why we're saying take action. But let's consult the tarot now. I've said all this and I've not even consulted the tarot. So how can I trust my intuition better? Let's see what spirit has to say about this. Okay. The first thing we're actually going to do is use Oracle Frequency Tarot. What frequency can you bring into your life, Plamena, that will help you trust your intuition? What frequency do you need to embody to help you trust your intuition more? All right, let's go ahead and let's see. Okay. So the first thing here is there's something about you being in alignment with what you need to do on YouTube. There's something about you made actually a pre-birth agreement to do this. The energy that is coming out is sacred geometry and return
That's cool.
to source. Now, this is like the whole universe here, Plamena. This is like the Big Bang, like nothingness turned into something. When this card comes out in a reading, it means that you have some sort of pre-birth agreement that your soul knows, yes, you are meant to be a creative person. You're meant to be a YouTuber. You're meant to do it. You are completely meant to do it. So what should give you confidence is that it's not about if it will work out, it's when will it work out. So you should never even question, oh, will it work out? Will it work out? It's when it's going to work out. So you can move forward with the confidence that sacred geometry, you are meant to do this. This is something that you are meant to do. Now, you also have nurture. So there's something about potentially making yourself comfortable, nurturing your intuition. One of the best ways to nurture your intuition is also tarot. It's a tool to sharpen your intuition. So nurture.
I like tarot. I've been watching a lot of tarot readers. I have been in desperate straits to know my future. It's like the more I work, the more like, oh my god. It's like I'm putting a lot of work in this. Like editing is taking a lot of time. I need someone to tell me it's gonna work. And so I kind of have patience issues really badly. The other thing I'm getting here is, by the way, I'm a little psychic too. Maybe not that psychic. But the thing I'm getting with this card, when I watch his readings or anybody else's oracle readings, I kind of like listen for my own intuition and how it meshes with what they're saying. And what I'm getting here with the nurture card is that I am actually gonna be like a nurturing force on YouTube, like to people. That's kind of what I'm getting.
You also have truth, positive intention, and gratitude. Okay, so the frequency of truth. Here's the thing about like you doubting yourself when it comes to YouTube. When it comes to YouTube and growing that, and whatever else you want to do as a creative person here, Plamena, all people care about is how you feel about what you're producing. It doesn't, so what you're producing does not have to be the best. It doesn't have to be the most accurate. You just have to think it's the best. You have to think it's the most accurate. So instead of trying to create a product that pleases other people, live in alignment with your truth. It has to be authentic to you. Don't create something so that people will like it. Create something that you personally, it is authentic to you. It's your own truth. Because when people realize that you're in your own truth and you listen to that intuition, they want more of what you have. And it's just an energy thing. So don't try to create the best. Here's a secret. This is a secret, and I'm hesitant to even say this because of how powerful it is. But what the best artists know, the attitude that you should have is like literally you just like, this is pretty vulgar, but like, let's just say you threw up or you did something disgusting and then you wiped it on the walls and you said, and you kind of had this attitude of like, isn't it beautiful? Like no one wants
It's like that modern art, you know, like those weird modern arts you hear about, where it's like some guy like taped a banana to the wall and then they sold it for like $50,000, and you just, it like boggles your mind because you're like, the banana's gonna die. It's gonna decay within a few days, and then you're like, is that the artistic point they were making, or are they just like jipping someone off?
this like perfect you know, you see people like trying to do a million video cuts and like, oh, it's like it has to be perfect, and people are just like, oh, they're trying to please me. Like no one wants a people pleaser. People want to watch someone who's pleasing themselves.
All right, note to self: don't please others, please yourself.
So whatever you get off on, for me it's going crazy in readings. This is what I do anyway, so I just film it. You need to get off on something yourself. So there is no outside world. Like, so I don't know, like, you're doubting yourself. It's like when no one's watching, who are you when no one's watching? Clemena, who are you when no one is watching you? Be that on camera, no matter what it looks like. Don't take yourself, change yourself, and then put a version of you on camera. No, be who you are authentically, just by getting little wins. So I would say start small, start on TikTok is what I would say. So that's what I got for you. There's a whole lot, so feel free to rewind this because there's a lot of subtle points in there.
Honestly, the little wins that I've been getting is, and they're like little wins, but like I say, I have trouble believing that I exist. You know, I'm always like watching everyone kind of from behind glass. Like there's me, and then there's like a screen, and then there's like the rest of the world. For whatever reason. I mean, I had 3 kids and I'm at home. I'm a stay-at-home mom and I work on my writing. So it's like I've almost like forgotten, you know, interacting with others. And the little win I've been getting lately is like Austin's YouTube channel and a few other YouTube channels. Sometimes I'll just like write a comment and someone might like my comments, and I'm just like, oh my god, I exist.
Now, question number 2 is, I'm married, but I'm talking to a guy online romantically because my husband and I are looking for a third polyamory to form a marriage with 3 people. I think the guy online really likes me, but he has major anxiety. When do you see him meeting me in real life? Well, that's definitely pretty cool. You're definitely on.
Okay, so yeah, it's what he said. It's what he said. He read my question. So we're trying to do like a marriage with 3 people, like just like equilateral. Equal, because that's just like what we decided, and now that's what like we're trying, and that's it, that's the story.
On the leading expansion of you know, some people would be like polyamory, blah blah blah. I think that's cool. I could you know, but I'll get into the frequency of it for you. I just think it's cool that I'm all about breaking social stereotypes and like people. Yeah, I would just basically say like, good for you. Like,
yeah, I'm all for breaking social stereotypes too. Actually, I think that is my life purpose, just to like blow up social norms. How's that for a first date? Be like, come and break society with me, call me.
Going for what you really desire. Good for you and your husband, for sure. You know, congratulations on actually acting on these desires that most people would say is socially unacceptable. I just want to say, I think that's really cool of you. So your question about this though is,
that's nice to hear. That's nice to have feedback like that from him.
You think he really likes you, but he has major anxiety. So when do you see him meeting me in real life? All right. What we're going to do is get the most likely outcome of this situation. All right. What's the most likely outcome here? Um, what we're gonna do is look at this person, how they feel about the whole situation in general.
This is like the moment of truth here. Okie dokie.
You said you know that he has anxiety, but we'll get a little bit more information. We're going to look at how he's feeling about it, and then we're also going to get the most likely outcome. All right? So give me a second here, Plamena, and we'll see.
All right, so just to give you a recap, basically, I've been talking to this guy online for about 8 months, and I don't know how to explain. I don't know how to explain it. Okay, but basically, from what the internet says, it appears that he is like a twin flame, my twin flame, which the twin flame definition is that you had a soul and then you ripped your soul in half, and then now these two souls are their own souls and they're reincarnating. But anytime these two souls meet in a body, you have a lot of like energy exchange and a lot of support. And one of the like hallmark signature things of signature signs of recognizing a twin flame is by how much they like trigger and activate a lot of like self-work within you, and a lot of like they mirror. They're a mirror to all like your garbage and all the issues you have to work through, and you also have like a very deep understanding. So I actually think that no, I know I feel that this internet guy is like my twin flame, and there's like I've just been doing all this work on myself ever since we met, and then he has started doing all this work, and like I don't actually know when we're gonna meet in real life, because honestly, like the second I showed him to my husband, I showed his pictures and I told my husband about him, my husband didn't approve. So it's like a very complicated thing. But I'm like, how can you not approve? It's my twin flame. We all have soul contracts to come here and dismantle social norms together and live and travel.
Okay. So the person that you're talking to, this guy online, that he definitely does really like you. He wants to surrender to this situation. The first two cards coming out in terms of this guy's feelings towards the whole situation. You have the Ace of Swords, and then you also have the Hanged Man. This person is very interested in it, right? The Ace of Swords is all about excitement. It's also truth. So it's also about being in alignment. It's also about a new beginning. So he wants a new beginning. He's very interested in this naturally. You could tell he likes you.
Yeah, it's good. It's kind of what I'm feeling. Like everything so far that he's saying is kind of like what I've been feeling and getting intuitively. So that's really validating and nice to hear, because I get a lot, I have like really strong intuition. I kind of can see kind of like glimpses of the future and which way to go and what to do, and nobody else seems to like see it, and they're just like, I don't know what to do. And so it's really nice to have your own intuition validate it.
So it's a confirmation. The Hanged Man is also about surrendering to this. All right, so the way he feels is he wants to surrender to it, but there's something about the High Priestess here. I think there's a little bit of doubt as in his mind about how it will actually go. The High Priestess is all about intuition. So there's something here. It's also about mystery. He's not really sure how it's going to go, but viscerally, he can feel that he wants this. Now, this is a very auspicious feeling because you have two major arcana cards and then you also have an ace, right? There's no minor arcana cards here. You have two major arcanas and an ace. So this is something he feels he wants it to go through. I do like this energy in terms of it actually going through. I do like it. I do like it. With this energy, right? Now, in terms of when, what I'm getting here is anywhere under 7 months, probably more like 3 to 4. So whenever I do these timeline questions, I use numbers, I use numerology, and it's interesting. Um, this person definitely just needs to work through their own doubt and fear about this. Like you have it, he has anxiety, he definitely does. Also, I'm not sure, because usually when it comes to like sexual relations, there's more of like a dom and like a sub dynamic. And because like I don't know what the dynamic would be. And of course there's people who are like pretty androgynous and just like kind of an even give and take thing. But there's something about like this person there's something coming to my awareness that this person's thinking about when it comes to uh the dominance of like the situation you have with your husband and this person. Like where is he gonna fit in that? There's something that I think he knows what he wants, but once again,
What do you want?
there may be shame, or there may be, or just like, well, what's actually going to manifest here, even though he's really excited about it. So I don't know how this person's going to fit in, if they're going to be like more submissive or more dominant when it comes to like being in bed, basically. There's something about that that this person can't figure out, or they think like, is this really what I, or they might be going back and forth with themselves about that. But that's neither here nor there. In terms of a time frame, I see it happening with under a year. I keep getting months. So the number, you have the Three of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, and you also have the Four of Cups. This is all about uh three.
Oh my god, that's such a long time. Actually, when we first started talking, like just like within the first week, it's like, okay, let's move together. Let's move in together. It was just like a very like instant recognition, like I've known you forever. And he was like, yeah, you feel really familiar. And then there was that. There was like this initial excitement, just like I just talked about that with my writing. There's like the initial excitement of you realize what you want to do, you have that gut feeling, you can tell that you want to do this thing, and then you start doing it for a little bit, and then you get all the anxieties and the doubts and the fears, because especially if something is really important to you, the more important it is to you, the higher stakes you have, the more fears you have. And that's kind of how I write my characters in my book. But it's hard. It's hard to see that in your own life. You're like, I'm not a character in a book, dang it.
To 4 to 7 months. So about maybe 6 months, 5 months. Definitely won't happen under 3 months is.
Oh my god. It's already been like 8 months. So if you throw another 3-4 months, that's like a full year. That's just to meet face to face. That's a long time. He's like 1,000 miles away though, so he's 1,000 miles north. I'm in Florida.
Is what I'm getting right now. The timeline can always change, but right now, give it at least 3 months before you press or something. You also have 4 months here. So this person, and especially with this energy coming out, it might be a dangerous situation, because now what I'm getting from this is that the longer, and it's weird because the longer that this person waits to like commit to it, the less likely they are, unless you want to wait a really long time. So what I'm getting from this is that around 3 months, it might be around 3 months from now, this might go through. But if it goes longer than that, there might be more of a lull, because you see that Four of Cups here, right? It goes from like interested in collaborating, 3, right? That's literally the threesome. And then it goes to 4. So there could be someone else coming in, right? You see those 3 here, and then someone else maybe comes in for this person. And then you have the 7, which evolves to like all these choices. So this person's definitely in their head about it. Let's just get the most likely outcome of like this situation. Like as the energy stands right now, is this going to go through or it's not? But right now, anywhere from 7 to 3 months, within 3 to 7 months is what the energy reads at this current time. So let's go ahead, and timelines are always shifting though, so it's important for you to know that, okay?
Let's shift those timelines.
To remember this. So let's go ahead and see. What's the overall outcome of the situation in regard to this polyamory? By the way, I have to say I can't give legal advice either. I cannot give legal advice, so you want to be sure that you're in a state where polyamory is legal, obviously. Okay, I just have to say that for legal purposes, but seriously. All right. All right. 1 second, sorry. Let's go ahead and if you're going to involve the state, you know.
I don't think we need the state of Florida in our business.
I don't know if you would, but I just have to say that. Um, hold on.
I'm sorry, I'm like twitching and I'm messing with my hair and my ear thing is falling constantly and I just can't focus for nothing today, but I'm trying to take the YouTube thing. I'm trying to do the YouTube thing as a career and be like professional and not just whoosh, walk off for a month. So this is just me being fuss.
Yeah, it's going to go through at some point here. The overall outcome to the situation, you have the Judgment card, the King of Cups. You also have the Five of Wands, right? That's some sort of competition.
Yeah, I feel that strongly. I feel strongly that it's extremely like soul contract, fated. But at the same time, like I don't want to be like gaslighting no one. I don't want to like gaslight my husband. I don't want to gaslight the internet guy and be like, hey, like, I mean, on the one hand I do, but I probably like shouldn't because that's like a control thing. And yeah.
But in this case, it's good. You see a judgment call being on love. King of Cups is all about being in love. The judgment call is all about answering the call. Like it's Judgment Day. Eventually, it's going to happen. So these are two yes cards, and because of the situation, you have the Five of Wands here. There could be some sort of like listen. I have no clue what you're in. I could tell you're into polyamory, but I don't know what you're into when it comes to like the actual sexual dynamic of this person joining your marriage. But like to be honest, the overall outcome, it seems like there's a healthy sense of like fun when it comes to having another person. Like there's a lot of people kind of playing a game, but it's a loving game. It's a loving game. So I definitely see this being very exciting for you and your husband as it moves forward in terms of like yeah, I think you know what I'm trying to say.
Like, give me exact instructions.
In terms of like the whole sexual chemistry, I think that's what's gonna make this happen. All right. Um,
Sex will set you free.
all right. Now,
Wait, does he mean like that's like actually what's gonna make everything work? Because like my husband is like against it. Like, all right. So for the purposes of this discussion and the purposes of anonymity, we're gonna call the internet guy, we're gonna call him Snake Boy. Okay, that's not a euphemism. He has a snake. Its name is Frank, and he dotes on it and takes care of it. So Snake Boy is 23, kind of about to turn 24 years old. I am exactly 10 years older. And I've had a lot of cougar guilt about this. But you know what? Like, if the universe wants to give me a present, I will accept it. But my husband is like another 3 years older than me. And my husband has been like, I don't like the Snake Boy. You know, the Snake Boy is ex-military. He's got guns. He rides a motorcycle. He races motorcycles. Whatever. He has a snake. And my husband's like, since when are you into guys, you know, that have motorcycles? And I'm like, I'm not, you know, like I'm not. I'm just into this one. One cannot be blamed for their bad taste. One can only be loved and taught better.
let's go ahead and see number 3. How do you see? But last thing I'm gonna say about this that is coming through is like the longer you wait, like if it goes beyond 7 months of this guy, this person's gonna have a tendency to just like slip away, like oh, like I don't really know, or like stop talking, or like do something else. So within like you might want to make sure that this happens within 7 months. Because if it goes beyond that point, you might reach the point where this person gets another option or they just do something else. That's what I felt called to say, okay? Now let's go to your third one. How do you see my creative career looking in 5 years from now? As in, how active is it? How many people am I reaching? I write novels and I want to do YouTube. All right. Well, literally as you said that, there's 3 cards that popped out. Now we're going to do a proper reading in a moment, but there's always synchronicity, and oftentimes these jumpers are more accurate than actual pulled readings because it is pulled. You have the Magician, you have the Sun, and you also have the Knight of Swords. What this is telling me is that you have a lot of potential. Obviously, in 5 years, a lot can happen in 5.
That's like the curse of ADHD. It's like you have a lot of potential, but you can't stay long enough in one place to actually do anything with it.
5 years, and to go into a timeline that is set in stone, there's a lot of moving parts. It really is going to be dependent on your speed and if you're doing things from the right place. So the Knight of Swords is someone who doesn't really think about long-term, oh, where am I going to be in 5 years? They think, where am I going to be tomorrow? What am I doing today that can activate this potential? So you have all the potential on the table, but what I'm getting intuitively from this is that you need to start taking action, though. Even if your voice shakes, like, because don't be afraid to fail. Like, because there is no failure, there's only learning.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel good. Failure doesn't feel good. Maybe learning doesn't feel good. I mean, I like learning, but I like learning from a textbook, you know. I'm like a textbook child. I was good at school, and I was very comfortable at school. I've never really learned willingly without a syllabus, you know, just like out in the world. It's just hard for my brain to figure out what's going on until I've written stuff down and looked at the patterns.
Many people don't know I had a YouTube channel before the one that you see right now. No one watched, but I learned some.
Did you see his eyes? Like his eyes, like they gave you the message and then he said, no one watched. But like you already saw it in his eyes.
Thing from that. So if you're putting shit out for a long time and no one's watching, then you can learn, I need to do something different. But if you never...
What if I don't learn? What if you just put a video out, no one watches? You put a video out, no one watches? That's a bad pattern. What if nothing ever happens?
Or even start, then you'll never... I'm just getting like resistance from even starting. Like, you got to start today. No one's promised tomorrow. You got to go like now. TikTok. Fucking like speed is you can devastate with speed, and speed also covers up mistakes. So if you're posting all the time, like, it's just about getting going through. But in terms of answering your question, let's go ahead and get the most likely timeline based on the timeline that you're on right now. How do I see your creative career looking 5 years from now? Let's see.
This is gonna be bad.
Okay. This is a very important message. Right now, if you simply are gonna be on the same lifeline, if you're on the same lifeline of basically like you're taking your time, you're not really taking action, then it's not really going to go too well. So as the timeline reads right now, there's an energy of not enough action being taken. What I will tell you from this here, Plamena, is that in order to shift this timeline, you're going to have to start throwing stuff against the wall. Okay? Right now, you're not taking enough action in order to get this in motion properly to get where you want to be. Right now...
I don't really know what to do. I know in the question I said, I know exactly what to do, but I guess as soon as I sit down to do it, I don't know what to do anymore. And this is hitting really hard. This is like, it's like A Christmas Carol, when the ghost of Christmas future takes him around and it's like, you are doomed if you don't change your ways and whatever. Like, this is exactly what it feels like. It's very appropriate because I'm actually filming this on Christmas Eve. So, super appropriate. Oh.
There are people who are less talented than you. There are people who are less qualified than you, who are just outworking you, or who are not afraid to fail. There's something about you have to be willing to fail
I
because there is
don't
no
want to fail.
such thing as failure. There's only learning, and you got to get your ego out of it. Okay?
The ego doesn't want. The ego doesn't want to leave.
Because your ego is holding you back from posting right now. And in order to get good at it, you have to post. So right now, there needs to be a drastic shift in the way that you are approaching this. So read Reality Transurfing of what I wrote about you. Now, this is a hard pill to swallow, what I'm telling you, but I'm not here to bullshit you. I can easily just say, oh yeah, Plamena, you're going to be great. You're going to be reaching millions of people based on the timeline. If you just basically do nothing, or if you basically just, pussyfoot around, you'll be great. I don't see that right now. I see you letting your fear hold you back right now. So there needs to be let's get some advice about how to shift this timeline, because the timeline I'm going to show you, because the timeline is not what you would want. It's not what you would want. So there needs to be a drastic shift, like a sense of urgency. Like Buddha said, the illusion is you think you have time. Now you might hate me for doing this, for giving you, I don't think you do.
Okay, so just a little thing to say. So when I was writing, because I paid for the reading, and then there was like a little message from him that said, this is my email, send me like 3 questions that you have and I'll answer them. And so I wrote my first 2 questions about confidence in YouTube, and then the second question about internet guy, and then for the third question I was just gonna say, oh yeah, no, is there anything else I should just know in general? But then like in my head suddenly I was like, yeah, I should ask about timelines, where I'll be in 5 years, how that's gonna work. And it's just like, I think like the universe was like trying to kick my butt. And I was like, why don't you ask this question? Why don't you see how it's really going? And the funny thing is that with putting stuff off, like with being scared to do stuff, I mean, like, I know that I'm not putting my work out enough. Like, in my mind, I know this, okay? But I also assume that something will happen and things will change, and then eventually it will happen. But like, this is making me feel like nothing is really gonna happen unless it happens. Unless this is, unless I just pick a thing. And I'm just like, okay, this is gonna be the thing that's gonna change everything. Just pick a thing with my mind. Like this reading. Like I can pick this reading and be like, this is what's gonna change everything. Like I pick you. Just like when we feel love, when we feel love from others or for others, and like we have our object of our love. Like our romantic partner, or an activity we like to do, like a hobby or whatever. And it's not like the hobby is making you happy. It's like your ability to open up to love when you're doing that activity is what makes that happen. It's like, it's your choice. So it's like my choice. Like something needs to happen, and I really feel the universe is on my ass right now. And it's like, work.
I'm not sensing that, but like, the illusion is you think you have time. You gotta for at least a period of time. Now, I'm not in this mode before, but before I manifested, like, if you need to want to succeed as badly as you want to breathe. That's the secret to success. It's not what people want to hear, but it is. And when I say that, that means learning every possible thing that you could. Now, what's the advice from Spirit about how to shift this timeline? What do you need to do to jump on the timeline where you are successful? All right, what actions do you need to take? What frequency do you need to be in order to
The frequency of getting stuff done.
line up with this? All right, let's go ahead and see.
This is so embarrassing.
And I want to be very clear. This is about taking inward action as well. Like instead of caring like what do the results look like on the outside, it's about getting good. So if you want to be a good writer, you don't even have to necessarily publish something that you know isn't your best. You don't necessarily have to post a YouTube video that you know isn't your best. Now, it would probably help you to do that. But what I'm sensing is like, listen, a year before anyone ever saw me do tarot, I was doing it for a year. Behind closed doors, just obsessed. A year. Picture that.
Oh my god, this is so true. I've been writing like YouTube drafts and all these things, and I think I'm like so funny. I have like 50 full video drafts in my folder on my email, and I've just been writing them for months and months, and like all summer. And then even last year I was just talking to my kitchen chairs, and I was recording in the recorder, and I was just doing all of these presentations to nobody, and just like night after night after night.
No one knew I was doing it, but I was constantly analyzing, constantly getting better. So you need to do so maybe for its own sake, but let's consult the tarot here. What?
It's like almost like before you have to do something, like, you know, sometimes people go to school, but sometimes it's almost like there is this universal spiritual training that occurs. Like, just like when you're supposed to do something, you just develop an intense interest in it, and you're just like in it.
What frequency do you need to do to shift the timeline that you're currently on? Because you are meant to do this, by the way, and the challenge is part of the process. If it was easy, everyone would do it. So it's about embracing this. Okay. First frequency is the Ace of Pentacles. You just got to get going. Throw it out there. Just start taking action, right? A new beginning in the physical world. This is about maybe
There's a little squirrel here.
creating a routine where you dedicate a block of time. I'm just going to work. No distractions, right? No more scrolling and social media. Everything wants your attention in this world. Nine of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, Four of Cups, maybe putting your love life on the back burner, to be honest with you. Ten of Pentacles, Nine of Wands. So with this energy here, you might need to be a little bit selfish about giving love to other people, because you have the Ace of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Four of Cups here. I know that you are looking to do the polyamory thing, and that's great, and I feel like you will do that. Or even cultivating. I'm not saying you have to like neglect the relationship you're in, but you have to realize there's a trade-off. Like, you can't be focusing, oh, like, what's going on with love, and maybe that's your inspiration, and maybe you do that. But what I'm getting is there needs to be a shift. There needs to be you taking a little, like, being more selfish with your own energy and really properly carving out time just to work. And to have the discipline and the guts to be like, well, it's not going to happen overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. So the day you plant the seed is not the same day that you eat the fruit. So there needs to be more action-oriented, not being afraid to fail, and that's what you need to do. So with that being said, I'm going to conclude this reading, Plamena. I really hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that it provided you clarity and insight, and good luck to you. Talk to you next time. Peace.
That was very enlightening. Okay, so the end was kind of embarrassing, I think, but I think it was like necessary. Overall, it was like the best reading ever, you know. Like the overall message was like, oh, your dreams are gonna come true if you do something. You know, I've always wished I could just like have a guarantee. And I've always talked to the universe, like, if you could just tell me that it's gonna work, I will work so hard I'll be there every day, but I just need something. You know, I just need a guarantee. And then the universe is like, here's the autistic mystic. You can work now. All right, that was very enlightening. Thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you learned a lot. I think we can summarize it as don't please others, please yourself, and be selfish, which is not the usual advice we get, but I think there's certain people who need that advice because they're like so far over this way, they need to go to the center. And then the people that really need to be less selfish just ignore this advice anyways. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.